This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we can have the SQL commands. So what are the SQL commands we have it? And okay, we can go for see the syntax. And day two, uh, commands, conditions kind of thing. Okay, day, in the day two itself, we can cover that. So operators, okay, and what other things? Okay, day three, we can go for see that different types of constraints and joins. Okay, day four, we can views and subqueries. Okay, day five, rest of the SQL topics, whatever we have it, we can go with that. It's like aggregate functions, or we can plan it. Okay, total 5 days we can go for it. Okay, like another concept. So from day six, we go for tablet, right? So after day six, every day we can go for write some SQL queries, 10 SQL queries. Okay, every day at least we need to be practice that. Make it as 10 or 15 SQL queries. How many times you can practice it, I'm not sure, but we need to make it 15 queries you need to be writing. Okay, parallel with so we can. Okay, so let's try to complete this 5 days. First, we can try to finish this part successfully. Then we can go for plan for this tableau concepts. Okay, everyone okay with this? Yes or no?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So Bharat, Prashanti, and Uma, this is that fine?
Yes, fine.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, I will share that all what are the definitions and what you need to be do that. Those we need to be follow that. But what is my request is this is not a regular training. If you are perfectly spend 2 hours per day, so I need that you should be perfect on that. Day one we completed. Day one topics need to be perfect. Okay, so don't take it easy, otherwise drop the class. I don't want the people who want to be take easy. Okay, one person I required it, that person need to follow me and perfectly prepare that. Otherwise I don't want to go with this of people. So you need to be think yourself and prepare yourself. I make sure I will give you everything. So you need to buy hard it, you practice 100 times or 20 times, I'm not sure, but you should be perfect on that. Otherwise don't waste your time and my time. Thus we can plan it. Suppose we want to go for day one commands. right? So first we can go with what is a SQL. I don't write any document kind of thing. What are the document available in Google? We can go with that. We can see that concepts. Okay. Uh, so what is the SQL? Why we are going to be learn the SQL? So give me any one of you why we require this. What we can do with the SQL.
Search in database.
What what is the use of the
Search in
SQL?
database.
To
Search any requirement in database.
okay, okay. So any other question? Any other answers? What is the use of the database?
To store the large amount of data.
Kumar, what is the use of the database?
To store the
Sir,
large amount of
SQL, SQL is a database language which was used to communicate with database.
Yeah. What is the database?
Uh, used to store the data.
Exactly. Okay, used to store the data. So what are the different types of databases available in the market?
data. There are three types of database:
Uh,
AWS, Google Cloud, Redshift.
OLAP and
I mean database server. Suppose it's like we are using SQL Server. This is from
yes,
Oracle.
okay.
Microsoft. Okay,
Like
Oracle database. Okay,
database.
Azure,
and we have that
Redshift,
Teradata.
Redshift.
Okay, BB2, and we have Snowflake. Cloud databases are there. Snowflake, Redshift. Okay, different types of databases in the market. The companies they are providing customers. Okay, they database software. So client going to be use the data you have it. That's we are going to be save into that database. Okay, so database is nothing but a place. It's a memory. So set amount of memory 1 TB or 100 TB or 200 TB database. But then we can go save the data for safety. Where you are storing is in the memory. Okay, once you get memory from your hard disk. Okay, it's occupies some memory from your hard disk. So okay, so we have the database. Uh, which format you are going to be save your data? Which format you are going to be save your data?
Sir, voice is not clear, sir.
Voice is not clear.
Yeah.
1 second. సో ఇది 2G ఎందుకు కనెక్ట్ చేసి 5G ఉంది కదా 2G ఎందుకు పెట్టా 5G చేంజ్
Easy and Muslim.
ఇది 5G 2 వాయిస్ క్లియర్ లేదు yes everyone is facing same issue voice is not clear hello So, yeah, everyone facing the same issue? Cannot hear me?
Now it's fine, sir. Okay. I think it's fine now.
Hello? ఇప్పుడు చూద్దాం తర్వాత. Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Audible. Audible, Swami. Audible.
Is it is it better? Is it better compared with earlier?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It's better now.
Yeah. Prashanti, can you give me access to share it? Make me presenter. I think now you are admin. You make me a presenter, so I can go for share my screen. Shrinu B is me. Make me presenter. Yeah, go for the meeting link. Go for the meeting link where you joined that. Show me that meeting. No, not this one. You already unmute mute things you are doing, right? A meeting. Go to meeting link where you have by browser you joined it, or the G is there, right? That one I think next to that Chrome. Next to that Chrome. Next to that Chrome. No, no. See, yeah, click on that. Here in the bottom toolbar, you have the G go to meeting thing, right? Next to the,
This one. This one.
the
Try to.
no, no, not in browser. In toolbar, bottom toolbar, you have a G option. Not top,
Yes.
bottom. Yeah, click on that. Click on that. Now your mouse is there.
Yes.
There, all the people who are joined the meeting, they are showing, right? Who are joined the meeting. You can see
Yeah,
them.
it's visible. Yes.
Yeah, go to my name, Srinu B. Right mouse it, make it presenter.
Okay.
Three dots is there, right? Go for that and make me presenter. Srinu B. Yeah, put on mute. Go to mute
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So you can see my screen now, right? All right. So in any organization, we can go for it. They can use any one of the database. It may be that SQL Server, it may be the Oracle, or it may be the Redshift or Snowflake, whatever the database they are going to use it. They go for store the data in that. They can go for store the data in that particular database. Okay, front end application, whatever they use it, they can go for load the data into the database. Okay, load the data into the database, right? So what is the basic things we need to be go with learn the SQL first is we need to know that what are the commands we have it. Okay, what kind of commands? Generally, there is a person, he's from Germany. He's from Germany. So you want to communicate with that guy. You want to ask something. How we can ask him? How can you ask him? Tell me.
Through mail, Gmail or
No, person is in front of you. You want to ask the address something. How can you ask him? So there is a common language. You need to ask him by in English or Telugu or in German. So if you know the German language, you can ask him in that language where is the particular address kind of thing. Or either you should know the English or you should also know the English. Then only you can communicate with him, right? So common language should be there. Either you should know the German language. So the communication, the person know only Germany. He don't know any other language. Person know only German language. Okay, what you need to do? You need to be asked something him. What you do that? You can learn the German language. You can ask him something whatever it is, right? Similarly, a database is a one place or structure of data. Database can understand only the SQL.
so my voice is not audible.
Sorry guys, almost 10 minutes I'm speaking in mute. No one can respond to me. Okay. See, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, SQL is nothing but a structured query language. Okay, if you want to go for communicate with the database, you need to write a queries in structured query language, the language which we have it. So we need to be learn the syntax of the SQL, and we need to write the SQL in that same syntax. Then only the database can respond to you. Okay, the database can be respond to you. So what are the major things you need to be learn it? So there is a SQL commands. So these are the different types of SQL commands. Note it down that and by heart it. So after today, you should be know all these commands. Okay, interview they will ask you what are the DDL commands, what are the DML commands, what is the DCL commands and TCL commands and DQL commands. These are the different types of each and every interview. Either you can go fresh interview or experience interview. They will ask you this question. Okay, even if you don't say that answer, you are rejected. If you put 3 years of experience or 5 years experience, you don't know that what are your DDL commands or DML commands, they don't select you. Okay, so how you can remember it? Remember that. Okay, DDL commands, DML command, DCL commands, and TCL commands, DQL commands. Okay, DDL means create, drop, alter, truncate. So what are the DDL commands? Create, drop, alter, truncate. Okay, these are the commands, major commands. It's like a we can go for use these keywords. We can create a SQL query. We can go for write a SQL query. We can go for get the data from database. Okay, or create one table. You want to create a database. You can create use the create keyword first. Create table. Anything you want to create in database that can be start with create. Okay, you want to create something in the database, that you can do it from create. Okay, if you want to insert data into database, you need to start insert command that will be start with insert keyword. Okay, if you want to update something in data, by mistake you updated that phone number is something, you want to change that phone number, how you can get updated? You can go with update command in the database, you can update your number. Okay, delete some data you want to be deleted, go for use the delete command. Okay, like these are all the commands we can go for use it to operate the database table. Okay, what is the DDL commands? DDL stands for data definition language. DDL stands for data definition language. The commands are create, drop, alter, truncate. Data definition language, create, alter, drop, truncate. So these four commands will come under the DDL commands. Data definition language. Clear? What are the DDL commands? First, by heart this. You need to be noted down that what is the DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, TQL commands. So then we can go for syntax. DDL stands for data definition language. DML stands for data manipulation language. Okay. DML stands for data manipulation language. DCL stands for data control language. Okay, data control language. TCL stands for transaction control language. DKL stands for data query language. Okay, data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, transaction control language, data query language. Okay, so what are there in DDL? Create, drop, alter, truncate. Okay, DML, insert, update, delete. Okay, and we have DCL commands, grant and revoke. DCL commands, grant and revoke. TCL commands, commit, rollback, save point, and DQL commands is select. Clear all? Have you noted down there? Clear this all?
Yes.
Okay. So next, can you go for see the syntax of each one? Create. So I want to create a table in the database. I want to create a table in the database. How can I create it? So if you want to create a table in the database, okay, before going to that, the table means if I go a table, what are the things are there in the table? If I go for take one table, what are the things are there in the table? Database table contains rows and columns. Database table contains rows and columns. Okay, so how many rows of data you want to insert the table? How many columns are there? How many columns you have in that particular table? Okay, so let me show you that. Excuse me. Just wait a minute. Maybe the software is a little bit slow. You can see here. So this is the table which we have it treated as customers. The table name is customer. So below selection from the customer table. So this is the customer table. Okay. So the customer table is there in the database. What are the columns are there here? What are the different types of columns we have it? The table contains customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code, country. Okay, these are the list of columns in the table. List of columns in the table. In each column, okay, we have some data. Customer ID is there. Okay, customer ID is there, and each column we have a data. The customer ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the rows. First row, second row, third row, fourth row. How many rows of data you want to insert in the table? You can go for insert it. Okay, the 5 are rows. These are the columns. Okay, customer ID, customer name, customer address, city, postal code. These are all. So where you can go with this, what are the headers are there? Customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code. This is called as metadata. They will call it. What is mean by metadata means data about data. Okay, the headers we can call them as a metadata. Okay, in the table, what are the column headers you can have it? That's we can call it as a metadata. So what it say that customer ID ఏం చెప్తుంది? Customer ID is going to say that these are the different customer IDs. These are the different types of customer IDs. Customer name is saying that these are the customers. Customers you have it. So when we have the customer name header, then only we can understand it. It's a name. It's a name of the customer. If you don't have the contact name, ఇక్కడ కాంటాక్ట్ నేమ్ అనేది లేదు, then what you can say this is as, we don't know that something that some name it is there. But when we specifying that it's a contact name, okay, this is the person we need to be contact. Okay, that's why we can call these headers, call it as metadata. That's why we can call it as headers, called as metadata. If you go for create a table in database, so we need to specify the columns. What are the columns you want to be insert in that particular table? What are the number of columns you want to be insert in the particular column? And you can insert the data into that. You can insert the data into that. At the same time, we need to specify that this particular column you are creating, what data type it is. What data type it is. Okay. So when you go for saying some person, we are meeting a person, we are telling something about the person. We say that this guy is like this type of person he is good person, is bad person. Something you can explain, right? What it's saying that you are describing about the person. Similarly, when you go for the particular column, you are creating the table. What type of data you want to be insert in this field? In this particular column, what kind of data you want to be inserted? You want to insert the numbers, you want to insert the names, or you want to insert the combination of names and numbers, you want to insert the date of birth, you want to insert the phone number. Then based on the data you want to insert that particular column, you need to specify that which data type it is, what is the data type of that column. Okay, so we have the different types of data types. So while you are creating a table and defining your columns, you need to specify that which data type it is. Okay, data type is nothing but what kind of data you are going to be stored in that particular column. Okay, what type of column what type of data you want to be stored in that particular column. So what are the different data types we have it? Let's see that. What are the different types of data types? So these are the data types we have it. These are string data types we have it. Okay. So don't go with all, don't get confused it, because we don't have that much of time to deeply go for that data types and all learn it. We don't require it. Just major data types I will tell you now. Okay, major data types which we can go for use it in regular basis. Okay, this much of depth we don't require it. Okay. Mm. So if we have a numbers in your data, you are inserting the numbers, then you can go with the int data type. Int is nothing but a integer. Okay, integer data type. Or you can go with a numeric. Okay, the data type is integer. Int number you are entering 1 2 3 4 5 6 or 56 100 200 300 1000, phone number 7891345. You can use the int data type. Okay, wherever you can enter the int data type, the field name is you mention as int data type, there you can go for enter a integer. No, I will enter my name means it doesn't allow you. Okay, if you give that Srinivasa Rao in that particular column, it doesn't allow you. Okay, you need to be enter the number, you need to enter the number for this int data type. If you have where you want to insert that particular number, you need to give the numeric data type or int. If we have a decimal values after point to 2.56, then you need to use the decimal data type where you have the decimal numbers. Okay, And same floating also you can use it, where we have the decimals, you have after point you have some numbers, floating also you can use it. And if you have a date of birth, joining date, date of birth, okay, joining date and date of birth, and what else we can have the dates. Mm? Date of birth, joining date, relieving date, deliver date, order date. So these kind of data you want to be inserted, you need to use the date data type. Okay, in the date data type allow you only dates, only dates. The date may be date of birth or joining date, order date, delivery date. Okay, these are all can be considered. Okay, different types of whatever the date you have it, that can be considered by the date. Date and time, both you have it. Date and time, you have the date and time data type, which can allow you time as well. Time as well, date and time, both you can be entered. Data type should be date and time. Okay, and character, only single characters you have it. So M Y, yeah, Y, S or no's will be the SN. Okay, single character you want to be definite, better go with a char, better go with a character. Okay, so character we can use it char function. At the same time you can go with other data types. These are all very regularly we don't use it, nothing to worry about that. And varchar, more than one character you have it, the name is Srinivas Rao Betam City, almost 20 characters are there, better go for use the varchar function. Okay, use that varchar data type. So what are the major data types now we discuss, just list out them. Okay, int data type we have it, decimal, hmm, float, char, varchar, date, date and time. What else we have it? Numeric, sometimes maybe numeric also would be there. This is also same numbers. Okay, so the data type you need to be defined. When you go for use the varchar or char functions, number of memory spaces you want to be allocated, you need to specify that. Okay, how much memory you want to be, you can specify 100. So then 100 bytes can be assigned to that particular character kind of thing. Varchar also we can define that number of characters. Okay, here suppose I want to be enter 180, then make it as 180. Here you need to specify that number of bytes you want to assign for that particular data type. Okay, so let's go for create a table now with the same data types. I want to create a table in the database. So how I can go for create that? If you want to create a database, the keyword we can use it create. Create. The keyword we can use it create. So syntax would be there. We need to follow the syntax. So even anybody SQL they go for write a query, they need to be use it syntax. We need to follow the syntax. Okay, the syntax SQL create table. See that the syntax is this create, create. What we are creating in the database, the table I am creating. One table I am creating. That's you need to be say that create table, create table, table name. What table name you want to give it? It's a customer table, it's employee table, it's order table, it's product table, or what are the table you want to give it? You can specify that. You can specify the name of the table here. Okay, create keyword. Create is a which function it is? DDL command. It's a DDL command. Create table. Table name you can define it. In open and closing braces would be there. In between you can define your columns. What are the columns you want to be insert in the table? What are the columns? List of the columns you want to be insert in this particular table. Column 1, column 2, column 3. And what is the data type of that particular column? What is the data type of that particular column? You need to be define it. Each and every column and data type you need to be separated by the comma separator. Okay, so column name, column 1 data type comma, column 2 data type comma, column 3 data type comma. Okay, number of columns you can write it. In the last column, what are the last column you have it, you no need to require give the comma over there, and closing braces and semicolon. Okay, this is the syntax for create table. This is the syntax for create table. Okay, let's go for see that sample table. Create table. So they're creating a persons table. So here if I am copying and pasting there, but you don't do that, you personally write it. You can go for install the SQL server, try to write yourself, that will be help you. I know that how to write it, that's why I'm copying, but you shouldn't be do that. Okay, just copying from where and don't go for the SQL server. You may say that I have a confident I can write it, but don't do that. Try to practice it. Okay. So saving the time, I am doing it, but you don't do that. Okay. Okay. Here you can observe that person ID. We are giving the number here. That's why we are specifying int integer. So here we have the name of that particular person. That's why we are specifying that varchar 255 characters something, and first name varchar data type, and give the number of characters kind of thing, address varchar, city varchar. These are all the strings characters, that's why they are defining in the varchar data type. So and closing that parenthesis. Okay, this is way of syntax we can create table. Once table is created, how we can go for insert the data into that, how we can go for insert the data into that particular table. Okay, the creating table is important first, then we can go for see that how to insert the data, right? So creating table syntax is clear. Anywhere you have doubts, how we can give the data type, sir, why you are giving the data type, maybe you can get that questions after some time. Think about it. So why we are giving the data type? Any kind of questions? No, generally I will get that when I was learning. So why we are getting the giving this data type? What is the use of that? After class, I can get those doubts. That's why I'm saying. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Data, why we are giving data type is, so we are specifying that this kind of data only you can insert into this particular column. Okay, so this is the SQL Server database. So in SQL Server, once we are installed our SQL Server, so by default, the question they will ask you, what are the default databases you can get it with a SQL Server? What are the default databases you can get it SQL Server? So you can note it down that. So master database, model DB database, MSDB, tempdb. Okay, these four default databases we can get with a SQL Server. Note it down. Okay, what are the default databases you can get it with a SQL Server? Okay, master database, model, MSDB, tempdb. Okay, these are the default databases we can get it with the software. Master DB, model DB, MSDB, and tempdb. Master DB, model DB, MSDB, and tempdb. Okay, these four databases we can get it by default with the software. So this is also you need to be remember it. Okay, so what are the default databases you can get it? You need to be keep in handy. So these four databases, anytime if you go for interview, any question they may ask you. We need to prepare for all. Okay, max work 50 questions. 50 questions you prepare it, you can get the job. That's it. Okay, master DB, model DB, MSDB, and tempdb. These are the databases we can get it. Okay. Clear? Note it down. So I want to go for create a database. Okay, we can create our database and insert the created tables in the database as well. But for time being, we can go for use the existing database. I will tell you how to create the database as well. So already I created a database. That's a text. Okay, if you don't have any database, how we can create it? If you want to create a database, simply go with select the master database by default database which we have it. So go for write a create database. So anything you want to create in the database, what you need to do that create option would be there. You need to go for create keyword, we can use it, database, database name you want to give it. Okay, my database name is this simple command, create database, database name. So if anyone asks you how you can create a database, this is a command you need to be write it. Create anything you want to do in database, create you need to be, anything you want to create it, you need to use the keyword is create. And what we are creating, database we are creating. That's why I'm saying the database and database name. Whatever the name you want to give it, you can give it. It's user defined. Whatever you can go for, you can give it the name. So let me run this. It is there in the list. Do you have any SQL 123 database? It is not there. Okay, so let me create it now, execute. Command completed successfully. If you did proper command, it will show that command completed successfully. Is there any errors? It will show you here something error is there, you need to be rectified. Okay, there is no error, it's command completed successfully. Now you can go for check in this list. Can you see the database name? SQL 123. I created this database. Okay, now I can do everything in this database. Okay, I can go for select the database. In that particular database, I want to insert, I want to write some queries. Okay, let's go for what next step we are doing. We want to create a table. We want to create a table in this particular database. So how can we create the table? How we can create the table? So let's write a syntax, create table. What is the table name you want to give it? Okay, batch 1. I want to give it batch 1. The table name is batch 1. Next, I can go for open and closing braces. Okay, so first one, SID. SID means what kind of data I can insert here. I mentioned that int data type. Data type is int. So student ID, I can mention a student ID. So number I can insert it. That's why mentioning int. Okay, student name. I can go for mention the student name. Which data type I can use it here? Varchar. Because it's number of characters. Student name is more than 20, 30 characters would be there. So that's why I can mention it varchar. Okay, so comma, each and every column you define, later you can put it the comma over there, separating that each field. Okay, s fee. Okay, fee means it's a number only, right? You can mention integer. Okay, so this is my table I am creating. How many columns are there? Three columns are there: sid, sname, varchar, data type, sfees, int. Go for execute it. Select the entire query and click on execute. The query can be get executed. Okay, otherwise each and every command need to be separated with semicolon. Then just put your cursor over there and click on execute, it will be executed. Okay, so either select that or put it each and every command separately, semicolon separated. Then you can go for put your cursor anywhere in the query and you can execute it. Okay, try to select this and execute it. So one more time I executed what it's saying. There is already a object name is batch1 in the database. So first time when I run it, the table is created. Okay, the table is already created. Can I go for create another table with the same table name? No, you cannot do that. That's why it's throwing an error. There is an already an object name is batch1. Okay, that's why it's not allowing you to create the same name. You cannot use the same name in the database. Okay, you cannot use the same name in the database. So the table is created now. The table, creating the table is done. Okay, so try to create 20 tables today. You need to create 20 tables. If you don't have the system is ready, take the pen and paper, write some queries. Create table, table name. What are the tables you want? Product table. What kind of products you have it? Laptop, charger, kind of products you can give it. Data type of that, and go for write it in the book. If you have that laptop, try to create a table. Okay, create simple syntax. It is there is no complexity here. Create table, table name, open braces, closing braces. In between, you can give it what are the columns you want to insert it and what is the data type it. Okay, what is the data type of it. Same. What are the table name we have seen here? Let me copy this query. Okay, I can go for copy it. Okay, so same thing and paste it in my SQL Server. But you don't do that, that's waste of time. Manually you need to be type it. Okay, select this, create table, person, execute it. So how can I see that the table is created here or not? Let me show you. Okay, the table is here. So once you connected to this database, so here we have some options, right? Database, click on this database. So what are the databases are there? SQL Server, AdventureWorks, Test, something is there. SQL Server, SQL 123 is my database, right? Click on this plus symbol. So in that particular database, what are the folders you have it? Database diagram, tables, views, external resources, synonyms, programmability, service broker, and storage, security. These are all the different types of folders by default created by once you create the database. What we did, we just created SQL 123. We just created SQL 123 database. In the database, these many folders by default will be created with the database. Okay, so now what we did, we created one table. You can go with the table folder. You can see that what are the tables you created. dbo.batch1, dbo.person. These two tables we created. These two tables we created. Okay, the tables are there or not. If you don't create it, you cannot see the table here. So you can create batch2 table as well. Okay, go for 2. I'm giving the create table batch2 and execute it. Yeah, command it successful. Is it there? Batch2? Just try to refresh it. Here refresh button is there. Click on refresh and go for check it now. Batch2 is got updated. You can see the list of tables here. You can see the how many tables you can create it. Those are all list of tables, you can find it here. Okay, so creating table is simple. How to create the table? Create table, table name and list of columns. So how you can insert the data into this table? How you can go for insert the data into this table? Okay, before going to insert, I have created the batch 2 table. I want to delete it. I want to drop the table. How can you drop the table? We have the another command to drop the table. Drop table, table name. Once again. Hello. చెప్పమ్మా. నా బ్యాగ్లో ఉన్నాయి. నా బ్యాగ్లో ఉన్నాయి. సరే 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 నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నా చెల్తాలే. Yeah, sorry guys. So we can go for drop the table. I want to remove the table from the database. So we have simple command drop table, table name. We can simple command drop table, table name. So go for execute it. Command completed successfully. You can just refresh it. Can you see the table? No, we dropped it. The table we dropped it. Or any table you want to drop it, simple drop table, table name. What are the table name you have it here? The table name you want to be take it as. Clear? Drop table, table name. Simple syntax. Drop function we have it. DDL command, table. Which object you want to be drop it? Table, then mention it table. Okay. Table you want to be drop it, drop the table. Okay, and what is that particular table name? What table name you have it, that's you can give it here. Okay, simple syntax. Clear that? Create and drop. So before going to alter it, we should know that how we can insert the data into table. Okay, how we can insert the data into this table. So how we can insert the data? We can use the insert command. We can use the insert command to insert the data into the table. We can use the insert command to insert the table. So let's go for write the insert statements. Insert statement. Okay, so how we can write the insert statement? Insert, insert, what we are doing? Inserting a data into table. Insert into. So in the syntax, insert into, insert into table name. What are the table name? Here we don't require to give the table, just directly you can give the table name. Suppose I have a student, right? Batch 1. My table name is batch 1. Batch 1. Okay. Insert into batch 1 table. Here you don't need to be mentioned table batch 1. So in the drop command we can use it, but in insert statement we don't use it. Okay. Insert into batch 1 table. So what are the fields are there here? What are the fields we have it in the batch 1? To SID, S name, S fees. SID, comma, S name, comma, S fee. Okay. SID, S name, S fee. Okay. Values. So what is the SID? Integer 1. S name, uh, Artik, suppose I can give it, comma, 4000 something I can mention it. Okay. So this is the basic syntax you need to give it while you are inserting the data. Insert into batch 1. what are the fields you have it, SID, SNAME, SFIS, and values of that. SID, in the same order you need to insert the data. SID you given first, ID you need to be give it here. So SNAME next, SNAME you need to give it, and SFIS, SFIS. You cannot be change here. You can give it SID, SNAME, SFIS. I can give the fee in the first row. It doesn't allow you. If it is same data type, it allow you, but data types is different, right? It cannot allow you. At the same time, where we have the string varchar data type, the data should be enter into single quotations. The data should be insert into the single quotation. You need to be define that in a single quotations. Okay. SID, SNAME, SFIS, and values of it 1 Karthik 4000. Can you go for run this? One row affected. Okay, one row affected. Can you go for see that data? I want to see that row in the table. So which command we can use it? I want to see that row in the data. Which command we can use in the table? I want to see the data. Okay, which command? Yeah, we can use it. No one is responding in the call. Select,
Select command.
select command, we can use it. So if you mention star means, if you mention star in the nothing, starring in the sense, all the columns in the table, what are, how many columns you have it? I want to see all columns. Okay, that's why we mentioned that select star from. From from is nothing but from you want to see the data you are selecting from table or procedure or view, from which one you want to do that. That's we define it. Select star from table. The table name is batch 1. Okay, select star from the table name. You can go for execute it. One row is there. This is the table we created and we inserted data into it. SID, SNAME, SFIS, 1 Karthik and SFIS. So sir, I don't want SID. I want to see only SNAME and fee in those two columns. I want to see it. SID I don't want it. So how can we get that? So behalf of that star mark, we use that only those names. Okay, SNAME, comma, SFI. Okay, the field names you need to be specified which fields you want from the table. Only I wanted SNAME, comma, SFI only. Then after the select, you need to specify the fields you wanted. Select name, SFI from the table. Okay, you can try to execute it. Only SNAME and SFIs. Okay, clear this. We can get the data like this.
Swami, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, why you're giving S before name and fees ID?
Without giving the student entire giving that, just I mentioned the S name. There is no